So when so I mean, it must be a few years ago. So when I was like looking into variable typography and I was going to write an article, the first thing I went to is interview some of the typographers. So David Burko, I believe his name is, who actually designed Dekova or Dekova. I can't pronounce that word. The typeface.
Well, I call it Dekova. I don't know if that's correct. He's never corrected me.
Okay, we'll go there. And so when I was, because I was just trying to, because at that point I was exploring typography, and in the world of typography there seemed to be these two camps where you had people who were very traditionalist, type is to be read, and then you had the very type could be like a form that you look at. And so when I was talking about interviewing him, he goes, you know, you should speak to Mandy Michael. And I was like, okay, who's that? And he goes, oh, let me show you. And that's when I saw your grass technique. And then he said, I was like, okay, right, now we're going to go. And then going down that path. And then once I started exploring it, and because variable typography and these experiments are hard to explain, but when you show someone, they get it immediately. So then in the article that I wrote for Google, that's when I actually cited your work. And that's how I
remember. I was very excited. It was very good. That particular variable font, I think, is probably one of the things I'm most proud of, because it was such a small thing to make, but I feel like on reflection now, it's made such an impact, because lots of people have said to me that it was the first variable font, I guess, experiment they'd seen that made them realize they could do more than just, you know, type is to be read, as you put it. So I do feel like I can quit web now, having made a contribution to the web platform in the form of inspiring people to make cool stuff with variable fonts.
Absolutely. Your name's added to the history, the annals of the web.
I feel like that's enough of an accomplishment for me, that some people felt like now they could do more. That feels good.
I think, well, I don't know, maybe so for me it's either having a large follower account or a Wikipedia page. Is like, that's when I know I've made it, and I have neither.
What's a large follow account though? Because I feel like I know it's not that many in some people, in comparison to some people in web, but I feel like my follow account is large enough that I could happily quit and feel like I've contributed to improving some people's web lives.
It's definitely larger than mine. But I mean, again, these things are all relative, right? You know, and I think that although I admit that I at one point was very obsessive with these things, I think sometimes there's a degree of, if too much might be unhealthy.
I feel like if you have one person come up to you and say, hey, that thing that you did really helped me, that's enough for me. That one girl that came up and said she was my fan because she loved looking at my work. I wish I remember her name. I remember her face perfectly. I'll never forget. But I can't for the life of me remember her name. But her, she changed. She was enough. Once she came up to me and said that was enough for me.